Well, it's great to see you all here because for years now, the standard assumptions in political parties has been nobody turns out for meetings, there's no point in holding public meetings, there's no interest. And the great thing about this campaign is that people, ordinary people, have proved them wrong. That even I've been surprised, I have to confess. I've been at this for well over 50 years. And to begin with, I thought, it's going to be tough to generate, you know, that active enthusiasm that will make people get out the house and talk to each other. And when both one of my sons and my daughter, who are also activists, and when they were saying to me, oh, I was down in Helensburgh and there was 250 there, and I said, really? And you've got the reports coming back from different parts of the country, and I realised, no, this is happening. People are interested. They want to talk about it. It is providing inspiration. And whatever happens in September, politics in Scotland will not be the same again. And this is going to be one of the most exciting things. I'm sure it will produce a yes vote. But it won't be a yes vote, right, that's it. It will be a yes vote, now what are we going to do with these powers? It's going to be this opening out of debate and opportunity, and I can see it with so many younger people who are coming into politics who don't even know what party they want to be part of, probably not enthusiastic about anything, but they want to do things and they want to talk and they want to generate new ideas. Now, people quite often say we want hard evidence about can we do it? And as Aileen has said, we have hard evidence. Since 1999, we took over, I was very active in that campaign and the Constitutional Convention and planning the Holyrood Parliament, we took over a range of important powers. And I don't think there's anybody in Scotland now, if they are, they're on the lunatic fringe, who would say, oh, let's abolish Holyrood, or that we've done worse. I think nearly everyone accepts we have done better with those powers than Westminster has. And Aileen has mentioned some of the areas, but there are so many more. If you think what's been happening in English education, which I think is chaotic, the fragmentation and confusion, and we have maintained our commitment to comprehensive education, publicly controlled. If you think, obviously, about the health service and the terrible marketisation that has been going on now for years and is getting radically worse in the English situation, and the belief there that you set up market competition, hospital competing against hospital, whereas we have gone for cooperation. And if you look at the areas perhaps which aren't so often discussed, we've made some steps in relation to land reform, but we've got very important ones still to make, and it's on the agenda. We've taken some important steps in terms of our environmental policies, and we've got some of the most ambitious targets of any country in the world, legally binding targets. And it's great to have that degree of ambition. There's so many different areas in which we have done better. And if we have done better with the powers that we had, why should we not be confident that we will do better with the additional powers? Now, one of the areas that I've been very concerned with all of my life has been war and peace issues and nuclear disarmament. From being a small child, my father was one of the British forces who went into Hiroshima after the nuclear explosion. So even when I was a child, he told me what it was like. I still have an old melted bottle picked up on the outskirts of Hiroshima that had just And so I've known about it, and I've campaigned about this since 1960. And we now see the opportunity of really achieving this, and it's of international importance, because if we do, which the SNP has made this commitment, the Greens are committed to it, Scottish Socialists are committed to it, and I'm quite sure that many in Scottish Labour, if they were free from the control from London, would also very happily support it, a constitutional ban on nuclear weapons in Scotland. Now, if we have that ban in Scotland, there is nowhere suitable in the rest of the UK for Trident to go. It took 14 years to adapt the Tresson-Faslane Coolport complex from, it had been a Polaris base, and to adapt it for Trident, it took 14 years. It would take, experts have said, probably about 20 years for them to build a greenfield site base. And that's something they would have to do. So it would be of enormous cost and take very long, and I think they would come to the conclusion, and we would do a great privilege for the people of England, save them all that money, because I think the UK government would have to say, right, we give up on nuclear weapons. It's not viable. And that, of course, would be of great significance internationally, not just for Scotland, but internationally. And we should remember, just on Tuesday, there was a Japanese journalist interviewing. There is, as the others will also confirm, so much international interest in what's happening in Scotland. And there was a Japanese journalist interviewing me, and made the point, we've got about 180 nuclear bombs based about 25 miles from Glasgow. Really? He was quite shocked at this idea. And there are so many people in Scotland don't know, don't appreciate. So we could make this great achievement in Scotland that would have international significance. And there are many major countries in the world, large and small, and I say major even when they're small, because you can see countries like Norway, like Sweden, like Finland, like Switzerland, who've made a great, and Ireland, I must add, a great and significant contribution to war and peace issues, irrespective of their size. And Scotland will be out there joining and making that important contribution. Now, I would like just to say a little on the economic side, because I always think the starting point for economics should not just be the figures, the accountant's view of economics. That's important. The important thing, nevertheless, far more important, is to look at what are our resources. Those are the real things, the things that matter. And in a world in which we will be going through serious environmental crisis, there are major problems. Scotland will be in a situation where we've got lots of space. Unfortunately, we've got lots of space because we suffered such massive immigration. People, again, aren't many of them aware, although many individual families went through that experience, that in the 20th century, we had a net loss of almost 2 million people from Scotland. And that's net, taking account of those who came back in. If our population in the 20th century had just been in balance, we would have a population today over 8 million in Scotland rather than 5 million. So that's the impact of economic failure in Scotland. But nevertheless, the bonus is it has left us, in one sense, we've got lots of space.
Yeah, that can be used for dumping nuclear.
Yes. So we have great marine resources. We have lots of talent, because we have the one thing we've always done is produced a higher proportion of graduates per head of population than most of the rest of the UK. So we've got that human talent, a lot of which has had to leave. So we've got these important things of resources, and we have these opportunities, not just the oil and gas, but the opportunities for renewable development. We are going to be in a very important strategic position in Scotland. Again, not enough debate has taken place over this, and it's because perhaps of an unfortunate thing, but nevertheless it's something that is happening. And we've had a very good group of young postgrad researchers who are just producing a new atlas of opportunities in Scotland. Because of the melting of the ice caps, trade routes are opening up. They have already been opening up across the Arctic. And it is faster for certain kinds of routes, so in one sense it will save resources. But what that does is open up, particularly for Orkney and parts of the north of Scotland, the opportunities because of these new shipping routes that are opening up. Also, it could provide big opportunities on the Clyde because there's going to be a growing demand for icebreakers. So these are the kind of ideas and opportunities that are there for us to take up. And that's what's exciting about independence, having the power to make these things happen. Now finally, I'd just like to say that last week when I was travelling in the bus, and this was quite unsolicited. It was a woman sitting behind me, and she was talking to another woman, and she said, my daughter's really been out working in the Yes campaign, and she's got really keen. And then she said, my granddaughter's out helping her leaflet as well. So I was just asking my granddaughter what she wanted for her birthday, and she said, Granny, all I want you to do is to vote yes in September. Now, her granny didn't say that she was going to vote. That's what she said. And I thought, what grandchild is going to say to her granny, all I want you to do is vote no in September? Because we represent